Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the final Iowa results, the Iowa caucus results that have just come in. There is some evidence that there are errors in the results, but I think that that's not going to be very consequential because by the time that they'd be able to point out those results, we already have New Hampshire primary results coming in by then. You might even have Nevada caucus results coming in before the final tally from Iowa is coming in. So both candidates have actually declared victory. Bernie Sanders declared victory by saying he won the popular vote, which is true. But Pete Buttigieg officially won the Iowa caucus because he got more state delegate equivalents. He got 564 to Bernie Sanders' 562, winning by 0.1 percentage point. And you see Buttigieg obviously outperformed what anybody else thought that he would. Biden underperformed. And I think the reason because of that is especially because of the fact that Pete was able to win in these rural counties, the counties that went Obama, Trump, as I said in my last video analyzing it. But now we have our final results. We can actually confirm this. That Pete was able to do very well in all of the rural areas. The urban areas were mostly won by Bernie. One county was won by Elizabeth Warren. I think 8 counties were won by Biden. 5 counties were won by Amy Klobuchar, and the rest were won by Pete and Sanders. And you see Pete won 58 counties, most of them rural counties, and Sanders won 20 counties, most of those the largest counties. And while Bernie did win the popular vote by 2,000, the first vote by 6,000, that's not how they decide the winner. They decide the winner by the state delegate equivalents. And as we can see here, Pete Buttigieg has won. Now, Tom Perez here on Twitter says, enough is enough in light of the problems that have emerged in the implementation of the delegate selection plan, and in order to assure public confidence in the results, I am immediately calling on the Iowa Democratic Party to immediately begin a recanvass, which means I'll just be looking at all the results to ensure their validity. And although there are some discrepancies, I don't think they're going to really favor either candidate. We saw that this morning there were some very good results coming in for Bernie Sanders. Pete Buttigieg was ahead by 1.1%, and then Bernie Sanders gained a whole percent on Pete Buttigieg with the satellite caucuses, the caucuses in places like mosques and churches in places like that. It's places where you normally wouldn't have caucuses. The less white candidates that mostly went to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders swamped everybody else out, and he was able to win these satellite caucuses, which pushed him within 0.1% of him. By the end of the day, Pete has won. You can see from the results that became so much closer, the satellite caucuses really helped Bernie Sanders and really pushed him within striking distance. Now, a lot of the Bernie bros are saying that Bernie did win, and sure, he won the popular vote. He got more votes in the state of Iowa, a very small state that had like 200,000 people voting, even less than that actually, in the Democratic caucus. But it has a lot of momentum. Pete has gotten a lot of momentum. If you look at this, especially, we look at the betting odds. Right before the caucuses, Biden was at about a 34, 1 in 3 chance to win the nomination, according to the bets. Now it's crazy. He's dropped all the way down to an 18%. I've just never seen anything like this. In about two days, he went from 32% to, or 3 days, he went from 32% to 18%. We see Bloomberg has actually gone up now to the second column with Biden going down. He went from 15% to 21% in 3 days. You see Pete has gone back up again. He went from 5% to 16%. Now, what I think this means is that it does not necessarily mean Pete is going to go on to win the nomination just because he won Iowa, although that is what has been happening in recent past. Versus 1992, Bill Clinton did not win Iowa. Tom Harkin won Iowa, but Bill Clinton won New Hampshire and ended up going on to win the nomination. But, Iowa is still very important. I think it'll be less important now than it ever has before. A result change is not going to have any importance, in my opinion. And I think it's very small chance that it's actually going to go into the Sanders' favor. But yeah, Pete Buttigieg was able to pull off a victory here. And I think that you have to this sets the stage for the rest of the campaign. Because we're going over to New Hampshire here. If we're going over to New Hampshire Democratic primary polls, we see the most recent results from Iowa. Sanders still has a 6.3% lead, and while it has dipped a bit, that's purely because of the fact that Buttigieg has soared up to second place. He was at 14% a couple days ago. He is now at 18.5%, closing in on 19%, getting up to 20% in some polls here. He hasn't had a victory in any polls. He's been tied. Biden was tied with Sanders in one of the polls before the caucuses. But Buttigieg has really soared as a result of it. Even Amy Klobuchar has soared a whole 3% because of it as well. Although she didn't do that great in Iowa, did better than people thought she would, but still not that great. But Pete, I don't think will end up winning New Hampshire. I think Sanders is still going to win New Hampshire. I think that when Sanders does go on to win New Hampshire, it'll really set the stage for a dogfight effectively between Sanders and Biden from the Nevada caucuses. I don't think Buttigieg is going to do well in Nevada. If we look at the polls here, we see the most recent poll has Biden ahead by 1. Buttigieg barely had any support here, only 8% support. That's even lower than Tom Steyer's support. And at South Carolina, especially, it's going to be a two-way race between Sanders and Biden. Buttigieg, see the most recent poll having 4% support here. So I don't think, even though that Buttigieg was able to win Iowa, I don't think that Buttigieg is going on to win the nomination. He doesn't have much name recognition or support from the Super Tuesday states as well, states like Texas, California, Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, states that a lot of them will go to Joe Biden regardless, but could even go to Michael Bloomberg at the end of the day. If Biden falls off the deep end, doesn't win Nevada, doesn't win South Carolina by enough. But yeah, it is going to be a very interesting primary season. We do have New Hampshire coming up right around the corner. It is on Tuesday. I will be fully covering that, all the results of that. Hopefully, it will be a more smoothly run primary. It should be because it's a primary, not a stupid caucus and everything. But yeah, this is a short video. I just wanted to get the news to you that Pete Buttigieg, in my opinion, has officially won the caucus. As I said before, even if the results change in favor of Bernie Sanders, it's not going to mean anything because of the fact that the momentum is already lost. Pete Buttigieg has more of the momentum, in my opinion, going into this week, and see it here in terms of the betting odds and the polls. Pete Buttigieg is rising, and while I don't think he's going to be the nominee, I think that it shows that maybe Biden isn't the most electable. It shows that Bernie is not impeccable in these states that he thought he would be able to win this time. But yeah, I just wanted to, again, as I said before, relay the news to you that Pete has won, and that this is going to have strong implications for the rest of the primary. I think Biden could very well fall off the deep end at this point, and you could see Bloomberg going on to win the nomination, as I said in my last video, one of my last videos. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys later.